Okay, I'm recording now on here for audio. We got good levels. So, welcome to the Nation podcast. I'm your host, Eric Thoreau.
Tom Jones.
And we are back, into week 2 of arena football action. So today we're going to discuss our last week visit down to Anaheim and how the Jacksonville Sharks took on the LA Kiss, and then we're going to also introduce a special guest that a lot of SaberCats fans and San Jose's ninth man would recognize, because he made a lot of noise when he came into the arena with that Harley Saber. So #Saber, that's what we want to get going on. So now, just to start things off, we're going to go ahead and talk to Tom here, and we're going to discuss last week's visit down to Anaheim.
Well, to get the full experience of California, you don't jump in a plane and get there in an hour. You get in the car, you hope the car keeps running, and you stop along the way, maybe hit the old nice Harris Ranch, get some steak or something on the way when you're hitting LA. So that's what we did. Eric and I went down south, got there a little early so we can kind of take in the atmosphere. And this time I can say is we had a very unique perspective. Not just from a fan's perspective. We put the jersey on and we represent the Arena Football League, a team that San Jose had up until this year. But we actually got to get media credentials. So that was really cool, kind of being like a fan and a half. I could just talk all day. Do you want to go in any direction with this, or?
Yeah, basically we got our first experience covering the game from the media's eye, basically from the bird's eye view, because we were up in the 400s at the Honda Center in the press boxes, and I got to meet a guy from the OC Register, and it was just an interesting perspective being behind the scenes. But to start things off, the LA Kiss basically contacted me, and they first wanted us to go down for Media Day on Thursday, which was kind of short notice, and we already thought that all the teams already had their Media Days, because as far as for the teams on the East Coast, they had their Media Days on Tuesday. And so basically we couldn't do Media Day, but we were able to cover a special VIP event they had for their season ticket holders, the Kiss Unplugged at the concert. They had, of course, the Honda Center is set up to where they're able to remove a few more seats in one of the end zones, and they put like a little stage. Of course, last year, if you know, they had a cover band, and a couple years ago, they had a cover band doing some concerts, stuff at the end of the stage. But now they had Kiss there, the owners, Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, and the group reunited to play a few songs for the season ticket holders. So that was a good perspective there, and I covered it from the fans' perspective in seats, and then Tom was down on the field with the 500 people, and he covered it from his perspective. So
well, I could tell you, it didn't seem like there was 500 people down in the. I was like three people's worth back, and I was actually close enough to take some good pictures, some good video, and actually catch a guitar pick from Gene Simmons himself. So I'll have to show you that in a minute there. I don't normally keep it in my wallet, but because it's only been a week, it's been in my wallet all week showing to people from work. But in any case, very unique experience. We kind of had an all-access pass, kind of like our guest is going to talk about soon, kind of, all access. So we can kind of relate to him in a way, maybe not riding bikes, but we can, any way you can relate to our upcoming guest. But in any case, great experience. We got to go to the after game post press conference. We got to go, up in the upstairs to the press box, see kind of the ESPN crew, Cedric Bonner doing what he does best.
Yep.
And it was a awesome experience.
And after all these years that Cedric's been out of the uniform and all that, he still has this thing about the SaberCats, so because he recognizes us as being SaberCat, especially since I wore a SaberCat polo, since I don't have any Ninth Man Nation. Tom and I don't really have any Ninth Man Nation gear yet. We're getting our new era hats in coming next week, and we're going to then transfer over to having Under Armour to go and pair with the league. That's about the two big sponsorships. And also, I don't know if Tom's heard this, but there's now a third sponsorship that's really nationwide, and that's Geico. Geico is now a sponsor of the league. I don't know if you noticed that some of the fields, like in Portland, their goal line had the Geico logo on the goal line. So it's like a Geico end zone.
Are you saying we may have to sport grow our beard out, maybe do a little caveman theme or something?
No, that's on you. That's on you if you want to do that.
We might have to get Mark involved in that one if we do.
Yeah,
that.
or we could get the lizard or the the iguana or whatever So basically, yeah. So that's good news at Geico, and of course the league hasn't come out with any official announcement about that yet. As a matter of fact, to my recollection, since we've had Butera on, and how he announced that Under Armour was going to be the official suitor on our show, the league still hasn't officially have a press release on Under Armour being an official sponsor, and all the jerseys and all that are being sponsored, with Under Armour, except for the Kiss. They had Russell Athletic because their jersey is a little more artistic, as far as for the design, I'm sure that takes place.
Yeah, but the coaching staff actually had Under Armour on their
the Kiss coaching had
polo
Under Armour,
shirts.
but just the players, because of the fanciness that Gene Simmons and everybody wanted their jerseys to stand out with all the fire and flames and all that stuff. Probably taking Under Armour a little bit longer to get those jerseys right.
Yeah.
But the overall game experience from years past, the Kiss basically calmed it down as far as for player intros. They still had a little bit of the sparklers going up, like a row of sparklers, and then led to the row of the LA Kiss girls. But it's basically like a commonplace on like how most of the arena teams do it now, and they had a few lights here and there. And they just basically announced their linemen and then announced the main players. They had the team there, and then they announced the rest of the team. But it was not as fancy as it used to be back in the days.
Yeah, coming from San Jose, and I know our guest can attest to this, because he's even closer to the fireworks and closer to the smoke and closer to the energy and stuff. I can tell you that even though we were kind of up in the a little bit of nosebleeds in the press box, it just wasn't that feel. Now, of course, I'm partial to San Jose because I think San Jose, for what they did over the years, you you can't put on a show like that. So
they're consistent throughout the years.
Yeah. So I guess in order for like the LA team to make up for it and everything, it's still good. I mean, it was a good show. I enjoyed it. Just being an overall arena fan, I had to kind of separate myself from being a SaberCats fan and just kind of say I'm an arena fan, and then it made it a little more exciting. So overall, it was good. I mean, it was a really good experience.
You have to be an arena football fan first, because first of all, the teams are not in every city or every state in the United States. So just to be an arena fan and looking for it, and two, when the team does come to your area, like next year they'll be coming to DC. Get involved. Go to the games. Even if you have the slightest speculation, go to the game, and the game will actually make you the one fall in love. Not watching on TV. Watching on TV will give you a little bit of education on what goes on and how it takes place. But overall, go to the games, because the announcers like Cedric Bonner and Ari Wolf, who wasn't there last week because he had another commitment, but he will be back, I think, tonight's game on ESPN2, Arizona, LA again. He will be there. He's been in the Arena League for like 19 years now, and he just loves it. He said all the announcers talked to, even all the players said, once you physically go to a game in person, and we're not talking about the other alphabet leagues that are trying to mimic the Arena League, but the actual Arena Football League, go to a game and you'll love it. No matter who the team is, you'll just love it. And then you can decide whether that's going to be your home team or whatever, until you actually do get a home team.
And so many people don't know about arena football. I mean, we're walking LA just around the bars around there, and they're getting the Ducks fans in there and just getting general sports fans in there. And you say the LA Kiss, very few people, even around the areas where they're serving customers that are going to the games, they don't know. So, but we've had situations where a couple of fans get some free tickets, go in, and boom, overnight. Because, and I've talked about this a lot, I'm just going to be very brief. You go to an NFL game, you feel so disconnected, and these players seem like gladiators that are untouchable. And, I mean, you can't comment. You can't go to their Facebook. You can't comment and do all that and everything. So the Arena League, once you're in it, you really feel like you're on the field. When players are falling in your laps, when you're drinking your beer or you're going on Instagram and a ball hits you in the face, you realize you're involved in the game.
That's why we always say no matter who's driving it, they're coming down towards your end of the field, and put your food and beverages down and your phone down and watch the game. When they're driving away from you, you're safe to do a little bit more of your drinking and eating, but still be cautious, because you never know when their interception comes, then the player will come whiffling right by you, and you feel like, what was that breeze? That was a player running for a touchdown right by you, and it's just it's a great experience. And the game last week in Anaheim was a great experience. We try to get into the people involved in it, as much as we can, and we are very supportive. The outcome of the game was it almost sort of felt like it was a SaberCat game, not to be, put on what the Kiss fan and Joe Wyndham was trying to do down there. But it felt like it was a Kiss or a SaberCat game only because they had a lot of players and the way that the pace of the game. So, and in that sense, you could say that's a good outcome for the Kiss. For their last 2 years, they've not been really great. They gave the SaberCats their only loss last year. But anyways,
Well, it's funny you should say that because, Omar Smith, right? Big time player, big presence in the SaberCats organization. It's kind of funny because he's coaching Cleveland Thomas, and they were the Dynamic Duels back in the day.
Yeah.
Which, I didn't have a chance to talk to him really and extensively. So, how does it feel between both perspectives? But in any case, that mentality to where you're always in the game and you always have a chance to win and you come back, that kind of had a little bit of personality to SaberCats with these players and everything and stuff. So hands off to the LA Kiss organization. When we were at the concert, when we were here, they were constantly talking about their team and how they've made a commitment this offseason to get the really good players in there.
Yeah.
So, if you're going to root for a team, you may as well stay in California, root for a California team, and especially if the head coach, ex-SaberCat, San Jose State football player, and a couple players on there, it kind of feels like a weird alternate reality SaberCat team, but more to come on that. I have a feeling they're going to do really good.
Yeah, we need to maybe talk to Joe Wyndham that he could get our next guest in there, and then they'll be truly like a SaberCat game to see him painted up in the Kiss makeup, riding the Harley. But we'll get to our next guest, Saber, in a little bit. Now just to end up on the game. The game ended up really good. It was actually probably one of the best games of the opening weekend. We saw 50-point blowouts in Tampa. We saw it up in Portland. And Portland's got the short end of the stick by basically having to rearm itself, after, the league took over when they were starting to establish some kind of players there and coaching staff in there, and they had to redo everything from scratch halfway into, which is, I would think, nonsense. If you're going to take over the team, fine, take over the team, but keep everybody that's already been, put there by, Emmerich and his crew and the coach there, let them keep on going. So how Coach James is doing, Ron James, he's well known, throughout the league. He has many years of success in Utah Blaze, and he was last year in Cleveland as a coordinator. So we'll see how Portland's going to grow. I think with the new jerseys, I think they may have one of the best new jerseys out there, but the Kiss won the game last week. It was 64-39. It was a great game, overall game. It was 6,700 people at the Honda Center. So now we want to get more at the Honda Center. We want to get more like the way Cleveland had 12,900. They won last week in the attendance. So we want to get more people going. It's probably going to be tough for Philly for their home opener because it's on a Monday night. And it's on CBS Sports Network. Kiss is going to be back on against Arizona. So that's going to be a good rivalry. The war on I-10, we could say, that's 4 hours, but so it's going to be a great matchup this week, and we want to see everybody tuning in if you're not going to go to a game, tune into the TV broadcast tonight at 8 o'clock Pacific time to watch Arizona faces the Kiss. It's going to be a great game. And now, just to bring up a side note, when Tom and I were traveling down to Anaheim, I don't know if our guest, Scott, here is aware of this, but we saw him posting that. 2 diehard Arizona Rattler fans. Okay, Big John and his wife Michelle. Michelle is battling a deep stage of ovarian cancer. The tumor was 7 inches long. They were season ticket holders with the Rattlers for many years. I can't remember. I remember meeting them with my travels to Arizona for the last 5 or 6 years. The last year I didn't go. But great people, great fans, ambassadors for the league in general. Diehard Rattler fans, so everything was great, but it just hurt me that the wife is battling ovarian cancer. What I can say is that she went through surgery, successful surgery, from what John has been posting, that I think today the day we're recording this on Saturday, April 9th, that she's finally going to go home. And she's able to leave the hospital.
Yeah.
But if anybody who is listening to our podcast, if you didn't get the posting, If you go to ninthmannation.net, I have a special widget right on the right side in our widget section for a GoFundMe campaign that I started to raise money to help pay for the medical bills, which are already going to be close to $30,000. And then on top of that, you got Michelle not being able to work, so I don't know if she was qualified with the state of Arizona doing disability insurance or whatever on how that works in Arizona's labor's laws. And then and then John, he's got stress and everything, and he's probably limited down his costs, getting money in. So the daily livelihood of them has been messed up too, and I'm sure. And the bill companies out there don't care; they want their money. So I raised, I wanted to set a campaign goal of $50,000 to help cover everything, to make everything smooth and transition. We've raised close to $3,000 already. And we thank everybody who has contributed. I think that soon after we got the donations, and I'm sure that Michelle's already been using the money, and she's very blessed to have the fans. And this is why Ninth Man Nation. This is probably the ultimate reason why Ninth Man Nation could exist. Because ultimately we have our individual teams that we root for and we're die hard, and we hate the other kid that comes into our house. Fine, but when it comes down to it, we're all one nation, we're all one fans, and we all want the arena football to succeed so we can have our individual teams, and we all come together as one family. So the Ninth Man Nation, I say, is a family. Yes, we have our fans, it's just like in the NFL. You have your teams that you like, Scott here, he's a Raider fan, and Tom's a 49er fan. I'm not really much of an NFL fan anymore.
We're still okay, right?
So, but it's all about, coming together. Because when football season ends, they don't pay the bills. Matter of fact, they cause us to have bills going to NFL games.
Yeah.
And to mortgage a house, unlike the AFL. But it's all great fun and family. So the message is, if you're listening to this message, go on to ninthmannation.net or go to gofundme.com/staplesfight. And you could, if you can, contribute whatever you can. If you can't contribute financially because of your personal budget, it's fine. Or if you have social media, at least share the link on your social media page, and let's get the word out. And we're not going to stop until this campaign can be set. So I just wanted to bring that on as a side note. So now with that said, let's bring it to a little chipper mood here. And let's bring a guy who brought a lot of excitement in. And that's Scott here, or as people in San Jose know him, as Saber. What's going on, Scott?
Thank you. I'm pleased to be here.
Yes, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Glad you can make it.
Having me.
I know it's rainy weather. Normally you would have came in and been more recognizable if you would have came in on a sunny day, but
I would have ridden the bike if the weather would have called for it.
Yes. You asked me the other day that should I come in all Saber-fied, I said, no, just, maybe a SaberCat shirt or whatever, just come comfortable. This is a casual conversation that we're going to have. So, now with that said, basically I want to see how, before you got involved with the SaberCats, how was your experience to the Arena Football League in general and the SaberCats?
Well, I had attended a few games over the years. I wasn't as devoted as probably I could have been. However, I do devote my sporting dollars to the Oakland Raiders. I'm a season ticket holder for the Raiders.
Yeah.
So just being a pure football fan made me stay in touch with what the SaberCats were doing. I always had my finger on that pulse of what the team was doing. Could have been probably a little bit more in tune over the years, but always enjoyed the game. Again, it's football. Who doesn't love football, right?
Yeah.
So, my previous involvement was pretty much just because I love football, and so I attended it, 1 or 2, maybe 3 games a year.
Yeah, see, that's where we need people to realize that, okay, you got NFL football, and people are stereotyped that NFL football is the only football that exists. Why not have football year-round? And that's where the arena football is. You have your NFL season, it ends, transition to the arena football, and it's in comfortable climate control arenas, and it's still football.
And that's the reason why it survived, because they're not trying to compete. The XFL try to compete, the USFL try to compete.
UFL.
Yeah, it's like all these leagues and everything. So if anything, it could be used as a means to seed players and develop players, and that's why the NFL has had a part in it. But I still don't think maybe in the past the NFL did not know what to do with the league, and that's why that kind of didn't work out. But it's kind of interesting you just say, I actually, being a season ticket holder from Candlestick and then being a season ticket holder from, to the new Levi Stadium, there's a big difference. So it's like today in the NFL, if you're going to go in the Bay Area and watch a game, the Oakland Coliseum, I mean, you'll be sad to see that renovated, tore down, moved away, whatever, because, you know, when you go there, it smells, right? When you go there, you're walking around, it might be uncomfortable and stuff, but you know what? That's John Madden old-style football. You look at old previews from the 60s, the 70s, all these playoff games, all the time when they're wearing stick-em on their fingers, all the time when the nose is bleeding and everything and stuff. That's Raiders football, right? So that is a big tradition, and today you can still see this Coliseum. Now, you know, you may want to get rid of, you know, Mount Davis, and I'm sure, you know, a lot of the Raiders fans may not like Mount Davis, which is fine, but I'm telling you, I don't want to make this into the NFL and stuff, but I respect what the Raiders are doing, and even though the NFL, they bring a great team as far as experience, a great player experience, and also a great tailgate party, which is all about it, right? The fans, tailgate party and stuff.
Well, first of all, Oakland, they sort of have this thing called a huge parking lot around the stadium. Yeah, they may have a small sports arena next to it, but that's all. The facility, the structure in Oakland is perfect. Even if they were to tear down Oakland Coliseum and put a new one for the Raiders or A's or whatever have you, that little area plot of land is a great site. It's perfectly, has on both sides, north and south side, access to the freeway there, Interstate 880. And then, you know, all they did do wrong is they didn't develop around it to where they have shops, you know, restaurants, coffee shops, whatever, so that people can go to it, and maybe a little bit better transportation with AC Transit.
Destination, other reasons to go for the areas that you're talking about.
Yeah, but then at the same time, you could, if you do something like that, then you might attract a different kind of. I mean, when you go to the Coliseum, you go for football. You go for tailgates. Yeah, it's almost like going to a desert, right? It's like a mirage. You go there, it's like, whoa, what is this? Whoa, stadium. It's like, so I like that they have activities and stuff, but then it takes away from football. So I don't know. I kind of like the way it's set up to where it's all by itself, and maybe transportation's hard, so you have to bring your car. Damn it, you have to tailgate. And you have to do that. I kind of like that aspect.
What are you talking about? What, the Oakland Coliseum or
the Oakland Coliseum?
Levi?
Yeah, Levi. No, forget Levi's. I mean, you know, that's
you got
that's
public
perfect.
transit. You got public transit. So I mean, that's a whole tailgate conversation we can get into.
Right.
Yeah, as far as the accessibility goes, and the location where the Raiders are right now is ideal.
Yeah.
As a season ticket holder, I honestly, all I need is a place to sit my butt.
Yeah.
And a football field in front of me my team can play on. I don't need all the bells and the whistles and my internet service and the club to go to, all that. I don't need that. I guess you could say I'm a purist in that regard.
That's good.
And that is that I go for the football.
Yeah.
Okay? And I don't need to be distracted.
Right.
Okay? I don't need to be distracted with other reasons to come.
Right.
But, you know, I'm kind of talking about before is that the Arena Football League really offers an opportunity for families, or for a family, to get introduced to football and not have it be a price point that's going to be so exorbitant that it's going to just make you can't do it, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So that was the beauty of the SaberCats and the beauty of the Arena League overall. I don't know exactly what the ticket pricing is like across the country, but if there's even just a whisper of desire or love for football, then the Arena Football League is a perfect segue for you to introduce friends and family to it and actually enjoy the thrill of football without having to pay. I know you're paying a heck of a lot more for tickets over at Levi Stadium than I am.
Yes.
But it's the price point is one that you can really introduce a lot of people to, you know. And that was one of the benefits that I had of being Saber, is that I was given a group of tickets, and I was able to introduce lots of people who weren't really familiar with it too, and introduce them to the Arena League.
And that's good. That's a good segue. I appreciate that, because now we could talk about how did you get involved in being out on the field and the Arena Football League.
Well, okay, so football is football, right? So there's going to be some synergy somehow, some way, the way things happen, right? So my wife Yvonne and I, we are I guess for the lack of a better term, the patriarch and matriarch of a big tailgate crew called the Raider Gators. You can find us on Facebook, Raider Gators, Gaters. And our love for the bringing the entertainment aspect to I'm going to digress a little bit more here. we love football, and tailgate is something that was kind of brought on kind of through family for me. My mom used to work for the Raiders many, many years ago. She was working in the office, and she worked as a liaison between booster clubs around the country for the Raiders. And so I was preordained to be a Raider fan, okay? Well, because of that, I was always taught that game day was an event, okay, of some sort.
Yeah.
And so because of that, my wife and I have grown to be the leaders of a big crew. And everybody brings something, and then almost always somebody brings a guest, right? Well, somebody brought a guest a couple different times, and we open our arms and take care of people pretty well when they come to our tailgate party. Everybody participates, but at the same time, we make it a really nice experience for everybody. We don't charge for nothing like that. There was this one guy, his name was Mike, and he came to a couple different parties. And he enjoyed himself. And so anyhow, out of the blue, he randomly reaches out to me and Yvonne and asks, would you guys like to be, would you guys like to be our guests at the San Jose SaberCats game? Sure. It sounds like great. It sounds like fun. Heck yeah. So, it was we paid it forward by taking care of the tailgate. So he reciprocated by taking care of us for tickets. Okay.
Right.
Unbeknownst to me, so I don't know exactly how sensitive this subject could ultimately be. Is that when we got there, we show up there, it turns out that Mike was Saber at the time. Okay. So we thought we were getting invited just to go to attend a game with him and his girlfriend. Yeah. And it turns out that we were his guest and he was Saber.
Wow.
Okay? So anyhow, before and after the game, I had the opportunity to meet Kenny Glenn. I don't know if you guys know Kenny.
I know Kenny.
Mm-hmm. Kenny was part of the game day experience, an entertainment team. Anyhow, I had a chance to meet him through Mike. And Kenny looks at me and he goes, so you have a bike too? And I said, yeah. He goes, well, if this guy ever can't make it, will you consider being his backup?
Wow.
I go, sure.
That's crazy.
Because he lives in Sacramento.
Yeah.
And it's a little more difficult for him to always make that trip,
Yeah.
So he goes, so if he can't do it, will you be his backup? I agreed to do that. And 3 weeks later, I get a call from an Arizona number, because that's where Kenny's based out of. He says, Mike can't come this weekend. Will you cover for him? So I went, did a game, and when it was over, again, let me roll back. I don't know Mike very well, and I'm probably on Mike's poop list right now. But at the end of the game, Kenny came up and said, this, by far and away, was the smoothest this game day experience has gone in a very, very long time.
Wow. That says a lot.
If we could navigate this for you to be Saber, would you be interested in doing that? And so the answer was, hell yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was fun. It was fun. So, make this long story short right now, they decided that they were going to flip-flop, and Mike was going to be the backup for me if ever I couldn't make it. He wasn't too keen on that idea, but it's okay. I'm pretty consistent, pretty reliable. I never missed a game. And there it went from there. I became Saber. That became Saber.
Awesome. Yeah, we always wondered about, if you were ever to miss a game for whatever reason, that who was going to ride the bike out there? Did they go down the street to the bike shop and try to get somebody really quick?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do what I do, and I've done in the past. You probably know where I'm coming with this. I'm going to pay homage to you, right? Okay, so there's a lot of people on the field. Now, the players stand out because they got their, jerseys and all that and everything. There's a lot of behind-the-scenes people that kind of stand out or whatever. So, you wear up to a certain amount of extent. Now, of course, everybody knows you're out in the field. The spotlight's on you. You're doing your thing to try to rile up the troops, rile up the ninth man and stuff and everything. But after all of the lights turn off and the regular lights turn on and now we actually get to a game, I've seen kids come up to you like you're their ultimate hero and stuff. And you don't have to have some kind of furry ears and all this and everything. I mean, it's nice. You want to go to Disneyland? They got plenty of those people, right? So I just don't know how you do it, but immediately just being, and we're not so far from the field, but immediately the presence that you bring, that we see, you got workers there, you got players, you got just everybody there. You have a presence, and you don't want to be in close proximity when you get the little CO2 cannon out.
The t-shirt gun.
Yeah, t-shirt gun. You don't want to be broke. That's the only time you don't want to be by you, right? But all the other times and stuff, I can tell you right now, from the stands, from just being a spectator and stuff, your presence makes a big difference. So I appreciate that.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for being that part of the game.
That's why
it was fun.
A couple years ago, I had to give you a rally towel that I made.
Yeah, I still have that. Rally
they have
towel.
it hung up over there, right below the pennant down there.
Nice.
So it's one of the good things that one of the former managers did here. When this place was the host for the post game parties. And by the way, we're at Blue Water Seafood and Crab. This is our sponsor for our shows. So, and we were talking to Scott, aka Saber, #Saber. We'll make a hashtag out there so he knows, because he'll be back on a bike in the 50-yard war sooner than he thinks.
So Scott, what's your last name?
Fareas.
Fareas. Okay, I just wanted to get that out because he's not just a Scott. He's Scott Fareas.
Scott Fareas.
Yeah.
Yes.
So just wanted to throw that out.
I always save the last name to the person if they want their last name to be known.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's okay. We can edit it out if you don't want that.
So no problem at all. So actually, to underscore your point, talking about the people and how you say that they kind of gravitate towards me, is that was really the funnest part of the whole deal, is my proximity to everybody, including the fans. You know what I mean? That's what made it really cool, is that I was there to give the players five, and I was there to tease with the cheerleaders. At the same time, I was able to go over and shake hands and with somebody on the field. So really, that was the most rewarding part of it. And I've got some great stories about the way the kid worships and stuff like that. But that was, I can honestly say, that was the most rewarding part of it, is being out there and being close to the people and being a part of something that I thought was kind of special.
Yeah, no, that's good. And if we have time, and I'd like to hear a story or two. Do we got time for this?
We got time, yeah.
Okay, because that's the.
It's a quick one.
Yeah.
I'm at an A's game, actually. So they're an A's game, and I'm with a group of friends, and I kind of get a little emotional because this was so cool. It was really a very cool moment. I'm sitting there watching the A's game with friends, and this little kid comes up to me and he goes, taps me on the shoulder, goes, "Excuse me, sir, but are you Saber?"
Wow.
And I go, "Yes, I am." He turns around to his dad. He goes, "I told you, Dad. I told you it was. I told you."
Man,
my dad said it wasn't you. My dad said it wasn't you. I told him it was you. And he said,
great.
"Well, if you want to go talk to him, go ahead and go talk to him." He goes, "It's Saber. I know it is, Dad. I know it is. I told you, Dad."
Wow, that's great.
And
That's cool.
And so he took a couple pictures with me, and so that was really cool. And all my friends look at me, go like, "Wow, man, that was so cool."
Oh, yeah.
The way you went from rooting for baseball or into the baseball game, and then boom, you flipped the switch.
Yeah.
And for that little kid, you became Saber.
Yeah.
And it was like, that is really what it's all about, right?
Oh yeah. You don't have to wear cape.
Moments like that. I love moments like that. My wife calls it getting Saber fight, and that is because
that's great.
Every now and then we'll go. Actually, usually once or twice per Raider game, somebody go, "Hey, Saber!" we went down to a game in San Diego.
Yeah.
And we were at a ball game, and we're in line to get in for the Raiders versus San Diego Chargers, and I hear in the background, "Saber!" So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I love that the role of Saber resonates loud enough that people will remember. You know what I mean? It's a really good feeling.
You have any
I
kids?
have two boys. Two boys. And Yvonne has a son, so I have three boys. They're all old.
Awesome. Yeah.
And moved out, thank goodness.
Yeah. I have a 21-year-old.
That's why I can have expensive hobbies like owning a Harley, and things like that.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that.
That's a great story, and that brings us back to one of the reasons why the arena fan is here, or the Ninth Man destinations here. We want to share family experiences, and what kind of experiences families and kids in the future, can have coming to a game. It's that personable, whether it be with the player, whether it be coach, a dance team member, or like an ambassador to the team. Because, other teams have their, so-called like Saber versions out there, you got Fang of Arizona. But that's only because Arizona,
is he Fang or Snake? I thought he was Snake.
I think it's Fang.
Yeah.
Is he Fang?
Yeah,
with long blonde hair and all that stuff goes past his shoulders.
Oh.
So, and I've been to a couple.
I'm the opposite of that. with my bald head.
Yeah, so I've been to a couple games with me out there, and he it's a different atmosphere with the way he is. But then, I'm so used to the way that you do things, but the way that the Rattlers, the SaberCats and thing were kind of the same. Because Kenny did both.
Kenny did.
The operations,
they have
his
the
company.
Same flavor for sure.
Yeah, it's his company that did the both teams. And I think he also did something with the Utah Jazz basketball team a couple times too.
Yeah.
So
it's and the Phoenix Suns.
Oh yeah, the Phoenix Suns. Okay, yeah, I didn't know about that, but yeah, I would assume that he would have done something at the same arena.
Yeah, and just to add to that, it's like whenever you guys don't get the whole fleet of bikers out there, and it's usually for the season opener, right? It's like a big game.
It's for a game that they designate. Usually, it's a military appreciation night or something like that.
Yeah, so it's
when
a
they
big
bring
occasion.
out the rest of the guys.
So you guys line them all up like that and everything. I don't know. It's like I can't see any other.
It takes
arena.
some choreographing because. It's already tough enough when I'm rolling my bike out there because when it was time, I come out, I come really fast. Yeah. Quite frankly, I can't see nothing because I got that smoke, the steam, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I can't see nothing.
Yeah.
So when I'm coming out, I'm relying on the fact that the girls are out of the way,
right.
and that the Comcast guys or whoever the guys down there that have their camera in their hand are going to be the heck out of the way,
right? Because
I can't see anything for the first 30 or 40 feet. When those guys are around, that makes it really dicey. There's less smoke that we use because with that many bikes on there, then it's really easy to get somebody hurt. It's really cool. It's really cool visual. But yeah, it takes some choreographing to make sure that it goes down smoothly.
Yeah, and I'd imagine they have some kind of liability, arena liability. But
I don't know. I
mean, we've been lucky.
If they ever had them sign anything. That's a tough field to ride on. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, I can just imagine it's like so that's good. Luckily, not that I know of, there hasn't been any major situations.
No issues.
But I think everyone's smart, and whoever coordinates that out, make sure. Including yourself, including the fleet,
Kenny and Mike Carrazzo.
And
that's
stuff.
Mike Carrazzo.
You guys done a good job with that, so that's good.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
So
I miss it.
Yeah, we all miss it.
And it was a painful dagger to read in the paper that the season opened.
Aren't you also missing something from your finger? A big old bling ring.
The bling ring. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you get in contact, or have they reached out to you about that?
They talked to me about it, and it just never came together. Unfortunately,
we saw the design of it. So
I wonder if the players even got theirs yet.
No, they haven't.
No.
Yeah, we talked to a couple last week, and they're still.
They're still wondering about. They're kind of a little bit sore about that issue.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, hopefully,
I'm sure that they'll make it right.
Yeah, because that's like the first thing you think of is a championship, and then you think, okay, where's the ring, right? It's like you can't have the championship without the ring. It goes hand in hand, and it was
it's more important than the trophy because the trophy stays in the headquarters, right? The trophy goes over here. This is your trophy.
You may or may want to kiss the trophy when everyone else has kissed it and everything, but at least you could kiss your ring because you know where it's been, right? You know where your hand's been anyway. So
that's a whole different subject. We don't want to go there. So basically, let's go back to your game day opening. So what did preparation and communications, your meetings involved with as far as from the start of the game, before the game, to the start off the game, and all the way through to the end of the game?
Well, when you get there, when I get there, they pretty much hand you a menu that shows what's happening at what time and points of the game, and where my involvement's going to be. So there isn't too much pre-meeting stuff. There's some pre-meeting stuff that happens with Mike and Kenny, what they want to have do, and then they come and they roll out the script to me when I'm going to be involved. Obviously, the opening, right? Obviously, the pizza. I'm going to roll around with the pizza girl on the back of the bike, which doesn't suck, right?
And it seems like
it's t-shirt. It depends. How many sponsors we have for that game depends on how many t-shirts we're going to have blown out that day. So my name may be on there 5 or 6 times for t-shirts.
We want to thank you for always missing our section. for your t-shirt.
You guys were too close.
You have an arm.
No, you know what? No,
You guys were too
you know
close.
what?
If I hit you, I'd break your nose.
No, you know what? We really want to thank you for missing our section, okay?
You get done a ricochet. Okay.
There were times too where I got booed because I shot him up into the rafters, and when I got out there, it was it's endearing. Actually, it was fun.
Well, it's amazing how
Oh, you know what?
far those things go.
See, here's the thing: is that damn gun is you just don't know how much pressure is going to go, so you got to kind of tap it a little bit to get. Every now and then it takes off and it goes to like 90 or 110, right? And I'm like, okay, so that's the one I would go from this end zone and shoot over across the other side of the field.
So what is it? How much pressure's in the tank at any given time? Or
it's emptied, and then there's a switch on there that I just got to go.
Okay.
50 to 60 pounds worth of pressure.
It's almost like it's not like the old BB guns where you start.
Right. This is how many times you pump it.
Yeah.
So the CO2 goes in there. So I'd have to do more pressure if I was doing 3 or 4 T-shirts all in one shot. Sometimes they'd stack 3 or 4 of them in there. But if we didn't have that many sponsors for that game, then it would be only 1 T-shirt per, and then it'd have to be much less.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would get stuck up in the rafters. And I did that a couple times. It was kind of fun. Me and Julius would come back and go, damn, you see how far that thing went?
That's great.
It was crazy. But the preparation it's pretty, it's really not rocket science, anything like that. It's the second time out of in the first quarter, you're going to be going out and shooting T-shirts then. The second time out of the third quarter is pizza time. I hate to say, burst the bubble by letting you see under the skirt, but we already know what sections are winning each. I already do that. They make it sound like it's a potluck, right? Or they don't know where Saber's going to stop, right?
You figure out the people who are coming down with the pizza from the aisles. They already knew where to go.
Yeah, that's where I always go. I always look over the cheerleader.
They're announcing, okay, where they at?
Look where Julius was, because he was who I had the hand cheerleader up to, right? So if you find him, then you know what section is going to win.
Right.
So anyhow, that's basically the game day preparation part of it. Not a lot to it. Once we get there, that's when it's everything is always going to be a fluid situation depending on how the game's playing out, right? And sometimes the pizza or one of my things that I have to do that's supposed to be in the 4th time out of the second quarter turns out to be moved to somewhere else, things like that. So there's always going to be some fluid situations that turn around to what is planned, but it's usually
I think this last season we noticed that you got involved a little bit more extra than what you did on your bike or any of that stuff. You started doing some of the yoga contests. You were going on the floor doing the planking.
I did. That wasn't anything that was required of me, but I do try to stay in shape, and the bottom line is that it was only a minute, because they made it sound like it was a contest and who could stay there forever and whatever. Well, we didn't have that much time in the timeout, right? Yeah. Because most of the people were able to plank longer than what we were willing to give them time to do.
So stamina wasn't an issue.
So there was no danger that I was going to be stuck there looking like a fool if I gave out before they did,
Yeah. Well, I have a question. If you had a furry costume, you'd probably have to go to a lot of outside of the game activities, weekends, signings, any type of promotional stuff. Community events. Did they get you involved in that kind of stuff, or was it mainly just game day?
It was mainly just game day. There were some. Like the season ticket parties, holder parties, things like that. That was one thing that I think Mike Carrazzo admittedly will admit is that they should have gotten me involved a little bit more on those outside ventures.
Yeah.
But to be just quite frankly, my compensation was based around specifically game day only. And they didn't want to do it. Although I was ready to come and do my part in whenever I could, I guess they feared some sort of monetary kickback.
Well, also this is the thing.
I don't know exactly what.
There's no barometer to see what kind of impact you're making until you get those experiences at the A's game.
Yeah.
There's no really barometer, so you don't realize how much of an impact somebody who's kind of an undisclosed mascot, somebody who doesn't have a defined character there and everything. So you probably impact so many other lives that you never know. That you've impacted.
I hope that's the case, and I would like to think that that's the case, especially with the scenario with that little boy that came over. Because I do have the benefit of every now and then being able to say, yeah, I'm Saber or was Saber.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's rewarding, and I will totally agree. Is that I think that the impact that my character had was a little bit, it actually really started to boom a little bit when I was starting to do it consistently. They had a consistent Saber, right? I was the face, and they weren't changing Sabers, or it was a consistent guy. So I would agree that unfortunately the rug getting pulled on from underneath us prevented the ability to expand on what Saber's role was. If the I would say if they came back, that each year would have been more and more and more, and that's kind of the way it was once they started recognizing that, hey, this Saber's getting some traction here,
Right.
And as they did, then each year I was involved doing a little bit more. To your point, but it never got really to the point where I thought that they really could have utilized me in a way that I think could have moved the needle financially. Bring a few more tickets. They wouldn't let me wear my wedding ring because they wanted all the girls to think that I was a single guy. So hey, if it puts
I didn't know that.
If it puts a couple more butts in the seat, then some girl thinking she's got a shot at Saber, then whatever. Right?
It's kind of funny. It's like the whole bad boy image, right? Like you take a look at all this. Talking about that, you take a look at all these things. Okay, what kind of makes a man or whatever? Maybe that's why I didn't shave today. I don't know, but maybe grab a bike. Put a bandana, just not really right here, but like around the whole head, and everything. Right. You got a tough boy image and stuff, and people like that. So
I actually had one kid. I know you guys might know Trevor. You guys know Trevor? Trevor Lucan?
Name sounds familiar. Yeah.
Anyhow, he dressed up as Saber for Halloween one year. He sent me a picture. He had the cutoff shirt and the glasses and the bandana. And he took a tough guy picture and he sent it to me dressed as Saber for Halloween.
Oh, that's awesome!
So that's a feel good moment, right?
Yeah, that's great. A great moment. And it's moments like that we just dab into Arena Football League, and people may be asking why we're having good that we want to have a perspective for fans, from every perspective of the game. So that's why we've had players on, we've had the commissioner on, we will have a couple of coaches on. That's coming forth. We had a cheerleader on. We had a Saber kitten on. So
Natalie Kirkland.
Yeah, Natalie Kirkland. We've had a media guy on. Come on.
Natalie, she's a sweetheart.
Yeah. So and now she's a Gold Rush. We want to congratulate her. Now
Did she make the Gold Rush?
She's a Gold Rush. Yes.
Congrats, Natalie.
You
That's
go,
great.
girl.
So I got to text her.
I saw it on Facebook that she was taking some pictures.
So that's basically how the Saber kids usually go. They either go to the Gold Rush or they go to the Raiderettes. One of the two, because their audition dates are a little bit off center back there, which is a good thing.
And they put so much time and effort in that. It's like compensation wise. I mean, it's hard to go. A lot of them going to college. A lot of them having dance school and stuff, and they have to show up with these events. In fact, even more so than what they got you doing. The Saber kids are always going to kind of like all those events and everything. So good for her. She's following her dreams, and that's an example of when you see the little what do they call them? Whenever they have all the little girls come out,
junior kids, junior kittens,
it's like
whatever.
That's an inspiration, So it's like great, follow your dreams and make things happen. So that's great.
So it's from that, and that's why we also had Saber, because he was part of game day operations. He was part of the Arena Football experience in his own way that the SaberCats organization had him. And like we talk about Arizona having their version of what Saber did as their ambassador, the thing. He does the same thing. He comes onto the field during the opening ceremony, introductions, and he tries to get Arizona's ninth man riled up. So that's all in turn what we want to get people experience about. Say this is a little bit part of what you can experience going to a game, and then you meet friends like we got to know him. We see on the field the first times. We'll chant his name, from our seats, and get him his attention.
One thing leads to another,
and
right?
Then now he's on a podcast show, so now he's going to be world famous, and all his buddies at Raider Nationville, they're going to say, "Hey, you're too good for us now. You're on the media."
Green, they'll be totally fine with me wearing green. If I showed up on something wearing red and gold, then I would be disowned.
Yeah, you can actually see with the live podcast. You can actually see you're coming to represent. Even more so than oh shoot, maybe I should have worn green to get in line.
So basically, this is all what we want to have the Ninth Man Nation do: is continue having conversation about the league. Conversation invokes curiosity, and curiosity will actually get people to actually buy, even if it's the cheapest ticket, or somehow win a ticket that's for free from a sponsorship, which is how I started going to the game. I got it through WB20 and News Channel 11 back in the day, when Channel 11 was still down here in downtown San Jose, and that's how it all starts. Like you said, you started going to a couple games, you liked it because you're overall a football fan, and that's what arena football is. It's football. Why not and embrace it and have year-round
actually football?
Right.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
It's an adrenaline
and a more controlled time frame too. So you can, an NFL game lasts about 4 hours, right? So
3 to 4 hours, depending now.
And not to take anything from Jerry Rice, but can Jerry Rice play offense in a controlled environment like that, and then turn around and play defense as well? So it's like
it's a special breed.
Yeah, it takes a special all-around
he is well
athlete
conditioned. The way that we've seen his workouts, when he's done it with the 49ers and Raiders, and that one little stint with Denver or whatever that was caused.
Just
Seattle.
Not a regular. He never played any regular season games for those guys.
No, he didn't.
Maybe as a
Seattle
coach
and Denver, both training camps. And, So Raiders and Niners only there.
Yeah, so it's a special breed of people. Like they say, arena football players can easily adapt to the NFL games. But the NFL players, they have to take a little more time to adapt to the AFL game. It's a whole different setting. I've talked to players that have come down from just winning like the NFL Super Bowl, like Devin Wyman. He won it for the New England Patriots back in the day. And then very next season, he doesn't get a break. He comes to play for the SaberCats, who won the Arena Bowl for the SaberCats. And I asked him, so what do you think? He says, I'm not in condition for this. He says, what's this two-way stuff? He says, everybody thinks the NFL is big time, but as far as for an actual individual player, arena football, it's up there. It's legit. And that's what we want to get people to realize, that arena football is legit. There's a lot of fans that haystayers out there that say NFL is only football. Arena football is not professional football. They think it's minor league. It's not minor league. There are some other alphabet indoor football leagues that they don't have the nettings on the side because of trademarking. But so this is legitimate stuff. The players may not get their multi-million-dollar contract, but this is a smaller league. But it's still a professional league. And from the fan perspective, this is the way we get to enjoy football year-round.
And, this is the thing, to just add just quickly to what you said, is you have players playing for the love of the game. They're not in these big contracts. They're not prima donnas and all this and everything and stuff. Now, of course, all power to them. They're also playing for the possibility of being scouted out and going to the big game. That's why, give them the money, that's fine, and everything and stuff.
And that's why the Arena Football League does have an agreement with both the National Football League and the Canadian Football League for that opportunity. So when a player does go up to the big leagues and they do their trials or camps or whatever, they're still technically property of the AFL team that they were originally with.
But they'll leave right before the playoffs, and boom, with their opportunity and shot to go to the NFL.
Do a training camp.
Yeah. So and one of them is Shane Austin. He went to Saskatchewan. But there's technicalities on how that went. So, but
did Nathan Stanley go up to Canada for a little while?
Yeah, Canada
came back.
He came back too.
Yeah, like Rasheed Davis, of course, back in the day.
He went to
played
the
with
Chicago
and stayed several years in Chicago. Of course, everyone knows about Kurt Warner and everything, and there's countless other players that have gone back and forth to, where they've got...
Bethel Thompson has gone to the training camp for the 49ers over and over again throughout the years to fill in wherever quarterback needed for the Niners.
Yeah. He's been a camp arm for a few years.
Yeah, so, and I'm sure there's been some AFL players that went to the Raiders, too. I can't keep track of all the transactions that happened throughout the league, since it's, a lot of NFL teams, a lot of AFL teams, whatever,
Right.
Now there's only 8 AFL teams, soon to be 9 next year with Washington, and their colors are going to be red, white, and blue.
That makes sense.
So now, from your perspective and everything, maybe, you're you're not as in tune as maybe us because one, we have to be, because we're trying to get this thing going and everything. You being a fan of the game and you wanting to see it back, come back and everything. Your questions are probably: is San Jose ever going to have another team? Maybe Sacramento, whatever the case be. Of course, that's still all up in the air. So all we can do.
Stockton.
What's that? Yeah, Stockton.
Maybe
you know what? And that was. Did you go to Stockton?
Yeah, I was there for the game.
And didn't you feel like it was just
cozy.
a smaller version?
It was cozy, right?
But the amount of fans that we've seen drop off over the last couple of years because of the whole changes and the restructuring and everything, it was almost like it fit. It was more of a filled up. It was almost like a small version of the SAP Center, right? So as much as people were complaining they had to go to Stockton and everything, with the banners that they had and the announcer, Nick and everybody, it was like
it was a very nice, intimate venue.
You guys did, the only thing that was different that they didn't have cannons going off. They had the hockey horn. The touchdowns.
Right.
Which I was saying, that's good for the person singing the national anthem. When they say Rockets there and they go boom, boom, boom right in the middle of the national anthem. Like that's one thing I never liked about the SaberCats, that they did that to the person, even if it was like a young kid that was singing. It's
they were prepared for it, though.
Right.
I'll tell you that.
You can never get prepared for that.
Well, I'm saying they knew it was coming. Let's put it that way. Right. Maybe they weren't prepared for it, but they knew it was coming.
Yeah, I mean, even the LA Kiss this last Saturday, they tried their version of a cannon too in the Honda Center, but it wasn't as loud. It wasn't the same. So let's see. That's all about especially overall. Go out to a game. If you're in the Phoenix area, Portland,
expose your family.
Yes,
expose your kids.
And if you happen to be listening to us in the Washington D.C. area, go get your tickets. $25 deposit on tickets to the Washington AFL, playing at the Verizon Center there. That is a very nice arena from what I've seen on pictures and experiences from friends that have gone to that arena. And they've hosted arena football there in Washington. The Commandos back in the day, one of the first arena football teams to ever exist in the league, back when they did have only 4 teams. So people are complaining that we only have 8 going on to 9. The league started somewhere. It had only 4 teams, and it grew upon that. So it can grow again. And with Batera, he's doing his thing. At first we hated him, all that stuff, especially when he was at the trophy presentation, the Reno Bowl last year, and said, "Congratulations, San Jose Sharks."
He did.
And then he changed it up to the SaberCats. We're playing the Jacksonville Sharks, not the San Jose Sharks hockey team. The Sharks. That's the first time that the Sharks got announced to winning a league championship trophy when it wasn't even their sport. Because they're not going to win the Stanley Cup for a while. It doesn't look like
we don't even want to talk about the Sharks, do we?
But anyway, so
that's another show.
Yeah, that might be another show, and that might be what made me need it to bring the SaberCats back. We need to talk to the people at the Sharks. Even though I sort of dropped word with Lou Wolf, who owns the Earthquakes and is minority owner of the A's. Say, hey, what's up? You guys, you got your stuff here in San Jose. Why not bring the football back and own a football team, Lou Wolf? Yeah. And buy out the SaberCats for $3 to $4 million is what they're around worth right now.
So that's what their game plan is, and it makes sense when you think of it from a long-term perspective. Whoever's the main team, an NHL team, a basketball team, whoever owns the rights to the arena and kind of dictates what happens, it would make sense for them to also own an arena team because of the fact that you may not have the circus coming to town during the championship game, and stuff. If it was owned that way, there may be a way to kind of get around it.
As far as for the circus thing, that can't be blamed on the circus. Circus Books has been there, the first tenant, since the San Jose Arena opened day one. And they've had that weekend every single year, and they book a year and a half in advance. It's the league that screwed up when they moved the league from starting in mid-February, sort of right after the Super Bowl weekend. 2 weeks maybe gone by, and then the Arena Football was having its preseason and starting their games.
Yeah.
So that's where it started. Now it's starting in the March, because what they're saying is that we don't want to compete with the NCAA March Madness. I said, well, look at it from this perspective. You are starting a brand new season on a sport that's just getting underway. Fans are just barely migrating and coming down from the high of the National Football League. Okay, there's nothing going on for a while. Baseball's not going to start for a while. NCAA is finishing their season, so it's not like you can risk the couple of games at the start of the season for the Arena Football League to get people to transition, as compared to moving it out to March, and then you have to, at the end of the season, when you have your so-called best game of the year, playoffs, you're coming down to hunt the Arena Bowl. That's when you want people to come and come out of the season and fill the stadiums, and then you're going to have to worry about NFL preseason. If people say, oh, I'm done with Arena Football, I want to go to NFL, it doesn't work out right. Especially when that one year when we had NFL Network, they had the Arena Bowl in New Orleans. They shut the games and started almost near midnight in New Orleans, 9 p.m. In New Orleans. Because they wanted to show what's the guy? The guy that likes to, the Christian guy, the quarterback that played for Denver. Tebow. They did a preview thing for him, and it wasn't even a preseason, a draft preview for Tim Tebow over the Arena Football League championship game. So they delayed the game and put him on, which was a live thing. That there's no precedence. Last year the Arena Bowl was preempted for a little bit because of some softball or something that was going on the main ESPN channel. So the Arena Bowl started on ESPN News. We don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
I want to get back to where, ESPN can be a national broadcast, CBS Sports Network can be a national broadcast, but when it comes down to the postseason, let's have CBS Network and ABC Network do the broadcasting. Get off the cable and come down to the over-the-air, so that way more people could get exposed to it.
And I think the best reflection of that is if we get more teams. I mean, to really have a full season team, a full league, you really got to have 18, 19, 20 teams. You can't have people out of your division you're playing 2 or 3 times. So it's worked with the NFL as far as playing twice once on the road and once at home and stuff. But there's not enough teams to go around. So as you get more teams, as you get more big sponsors like Under Armour and some of these bigger teams, these bigger sponsors, then you can start to get traction and stuff from sponsors and dealership or dealers that will actually put their money involved and kind of get on the ground running. So.
Yeah. So we just some things up. We covered the games from Jacksonville and LA. We sort of previewed this week's games, what's going on. ESPN2 is featuring the Arizona Rattlers at LA Kiss, and then on Monday it's the Philadelphia Soul home opener hosting Jacksonville Sharks. And that's going to be on Monday night. And so basically we wanted to go over that, and we had Scott here. He was Saber. And hopefully he'll be Saber within the next year or two.
Hopefully again.
Yes.
And we
Saber will ride again.
Yep, and that's it at the SAP Center, not at the new Golden One Center. We don't want him going up to Sacramento.
Actually, Stockton might not be bad
Stockton
on the
would
bike.
be so bad from Centerville.
Yeah, commute-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
So, the further commute, just charge a little bit more. Cover that gas expense.
Yeah. So we really appreciate you being on the show.
We appreciate
your
you
stories
guys
and your
having me.
perspective and everything. It's very unique.
Yep.
Thank you for adding to the element.
That's what we try to do here, try to provide a perspective from every vantage point that it's involved in going to the arena. Once you step in those doors and you get your ticket scan, you'll want to share the experience. I mean, we're not going to have the bartenders at the concession stands and the salespeople trying to sell you their concessions, and stuff. No, we're not going to deal with them. But as far as what happens on the field, we want the whole experience. And I think we pretty much covered it. We're here in San Jose, Tom and I are, so we have to reach out to our San Jose, staffers to share the experience because it's sort of in a way mimicked across the entire league. And we want to bring that and see what people could feel and get them exposed to the league and get to a game.
So at the same time, just kind of a shout out to those other fans out there, those other Ninth Man Nation fans. If you have those connections with other organizations, other teams within the league, if you want us to maybe try to get somebody on the show, we're trying to make this national. We don't just want to be, just exclusive to the San Jose area. So get us involved, send us information. When you go on our website, ninthmannation.net, you can certainly get the information to reach out and contact Eric or myself and get us involved. And we'll see if we can be as open as possible, is to kind of get everyone involved, every team in the whole league.
And just to let you know, we are going to have coming soon. We're in contacts with Cedric Monner. We're going to have him on and hit back and relay back to his days, back in the Arizona Rattler days. And then transitioning to become a broadcaster. And then we're going to also have possibly Joe Wyndham on from the LA Kiss. We're going to have Coach Omar Smith going to be on. We're going to have Cleveland Thomas, Donovan Morgan. So we have LA Kiss, with a couple of former SaberCat players and coaches there, but they're all now LA. So we're going to have them on, plus a couple of fans from LA. We're going to have the fan ambassador Brian Fox who was also with the LA Avengers back in the day. And then we also going to have the new fans that we just got them, David and Karina. They'll be on within the next couple of weeks, and we're going to be doing this weekly now since the season started. So we look forward to your comments. So you can leave us comments on our SoundCloud. So it's soundcloud.com/NinthManNation. And you can also hear us on iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher. We're also going to be coming soon to iHeartRadio and Google Play Music. So we're going to be all over the place. Tune in. So we're going to be all over the place. You can hear us, and you can stream us on our website too at ninthmannation.net. And also this episode, we are also kind of doing a live stream on YouTube, testing it out. It's a beta testing. We're getting things going. We'll have a better camera soon within the next couple of weeks, and we want to thank Scott for showing up, man. Sharing his experiences with especially the one with the kid at the A's game. That you never think will happen at a whole different sport. Just come up out of blue.
Right.
So that's great things. And now Scott's going to have to enjoy this thing called a lobster roll or something like that. We might have to treat him to something delicious like that. Since we're here at Blue Water, and we'll check you next time on Ninth Man Nation. I'm Eric Thoreau.
Tom Jones.
And we'll see you at the game.